Hey guys, Pryzm here. Welcome to my first Let's Play Istaria Chronicles of the Gifted. In the last tutorial I explained you how to download the game, how to install it on your computer and how to create an account for it. Now I wanted to show you some of the gameplay basics and start the Let's Play. Before that, I wanted to show you a video. I'm gonna link it on screen right now. The video is a really good game overview and I really recommend you to watch it. If you really consider to sub to this game on a monthly base, it would be good to have some more information than just a let's play. Anyway, after you started the launcher, you just have to enter your password and your username and then click on login. Bam! Okay. Now, we are still in the launcher, but here you got some basic information about the game itself. For example, on the left side you see your characters. I already have some, for example, my main character Pryzm. Then here you have your tokens. You get some loyalty tokens when you subscribe to the game or buy it for 1 month, for example. Then here you have some account service informations like your characters and logins. The shard status, with a shard, they actually mean servers. We have currently 3 accessible servers for you. Then here you got some news and some updates. Well, what I want to do with you on this Let's Play is start a new character and show you live on the Chaos server, which is the regular server. The Order server is a role-playing server and the Blight server is a test server. Every new update goes on the Blight server first. Well, let's get ahead and start with the Chaos server and click on Create. It will do a first patch and lead you to the character creation. Alright, because Istaria has quite a lot of information at the beginning, I will split the tutorial up into 3 parts. Part 1 will contain the character creation, the controls and the screen setup. Part 2 adventuring and combat, and Part 3 crafting. Okay, after the server selection you get to the character creation. Let me give you some information about the races. Istaria has 11 races in total. 10 of them, the non-dragon races, are called bipeds by the dragons. The last one would be of course a dragon race. The bipeds are humans, dwarves, fiends, Ceres, elves, slick, half-giants, gnomes, satyr, and last but not least the dryad. While making a biped, you can choose if you want it to be a male biped or a female biped. Down here. An exception are the slick. I guess they just don't have a gender. Anyway, each race starts with their own special attributes and abilities. For example, the half-giants have giant days, which grants them... Half-giants can slam opponents in combat, slowing their attack speed, and they have increased health. And for example, the elf, they have elven leadership and enhanced bow, and so on. You can read the details later. Now the dragons, the last race, they are a race for themselves. According to the lore, they consider themselves the upper race of Istaria. There's also difference in schools. For example, the bipeds have 27 adventure schools and 19 craft schools, while the dragons have only 1 adventure school and 3 craft schools. That's a huge difference and I would suggest you to try out both. A dragon is actually a really good race to start off with. They might have less schools, but they are loved for their maturing and the gift of flight. They can basically fly everywhere where they want. And their crafting and adventuring is not as complex with the ratings as with the bipeds. Really, try out both and you will see it yourself. What I wanted to show you in this Let's Play is the dragon race. You have quite a lot of options to choose from. For example, the head shapes, fin heads and other stuff. And when you go through the body textures, you can actually change the shades of the colors. For example, we start off with yellow or a dark black. And if you skip through the body textures, it will turn to a middle shade. And then a bright one. So you have basically bright color, a middle color and a dark color. Just try around a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and create my dragon now. I'm just gonna leave the head as it is. But I'm not happy with the body texture. I want it to be bright colored, so yeah, bright blue just looks perfect. You could spend hours on character creation if you don't want know what you're looking for. You can also add a highlight. I'm just gonna leave it white. Even some chest plates. Let's check around what you have here. Some chest plates go up to the snout and some don't. And some are brighter than others. I'm looking for darker blue. Took me almost half an hour until I had created my main character Pryzm, I think. I like this one. Then you can add stripes and spots to your dragon. And even change the color of that. I'm looking for one specific pattern that I didn't use so far. And I heard even in a new update, in a new upcoming update, they will add a new pattern. Maybe I should wait with the tutorial. No, I'm just gonna go ahead and make this one now. This one. Wingtips and claws colored. Oops, not a plate color. But I'm gonna make this a simple white. Let's see how this looks like. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. Now, you can change the eye. But I think I'm just gonna go with the default eye because I like this one the most. Is there a gray? Yeah, there is. So, okay. Then you can change the hay of your dragon. I'm gonna make it as big as possible. Then you can add some nice muscles and some fat. But I don't want a fat dragon because that will look really strange when he grows up. So I'm just gonna leave it normal. Now, if you want to do that, you can change the age of your dragon here to take a look at how it will look as an adult or even as an ancient. But I'm not going to do that because when I first created my main character Pryzm, I didn't have that option. This is a new option. And I was so happy to see my dragon the first time as an adult. It was so amazing, and I don't want to ruin that or spoil it by looking ahead of what you might look like. Anyway, if you're done, click on next and then you can choose a name for your dragon. I'm going to name you Machiba. And in memory of my friend Kimberly, I'm going to name you Machiba Blue Shield. And then you just simply click on play. Now you'll get teleported to the tutorial island Skalkar. That's a dragon island only. Bipeds have a different island where they start off with their own quests. As I said before, dragons are a race for themselves. Now, the game offers you a kind of tutorial, but we don't need it in this Let's Play. I'm just gonna explain you everything. Okay, we get thrown into this icy wind. There's right now going an event on in Istaria. It's called Hours of Frost, Istaria is covered in snow and ice, and everything is cold, really cold. Nobody knows what it's causing. On the 18th of February, there will be a main event of Hours of Frost, and if you're lucky enough, you will have a character till then. There's even double experience right now, so you might have the chance of quickly level up if you join today. Anyway, here we are. Let's begin with the controls. So, you can move around with the arrow keys, like forward, backward, or W, A, S, and D, which is just doing for the same purpose. To move around the camera around your character, you can use the numpad keys, like 4 and 6 for left and right, and 8 and 2 for up and down. You can center the camera behind your character with 0. And with 5, you can lock the camera position, so the camera will stay where it actually is. Now, there are some other controls. You can actually customize everything. To do that, you just need to click onto this blue gem button down here to the left and look for the options. Okay. In here you have the key bindings tab. Now, I want to change some of the controls for myself because I'm already used to my own controls. You can of course keep the defaults, but then you have to remember what the defaults are. For example, step left and step right. These are Q and E currently. Your dragon is making a new animation. They recently added this animation. But I'm going to change step left to semicolon and step right to apostrophe. Now the run modifier is something you will need very often. I'm just gonna demonstrate what this is doing. I set it to J for myself. Now if you hit J and start walking, you see you walk slowly. If I hit J again, I start running. So, someone is moaning. So, this is the run modifier. Now, auto forward, you will probably need this very often for carefree travel. If I hit the num lock, my dragon starts running automatically. I'm not hitting any keys right now. So, then jump is on the spacebar currently. I like to have it on Q for the reason that later when you grow up to an adult and will be able to fly, it's easier for me to fly up with Q and fly down with X. Now, sit and stand is correct. Sleep and stand, I like to have this on this button. I don't know how to call this, I'm sorry. But it looks like when you hit this button now, your dragon will go to sleep. And if someone is trying to reach you via PM, he will just get the message that you're currently away from the keyboard. Hit the key and you will wake up again. Okay, some basic actions. You don't need to have them in your brain. If you want, you can keep everything in your brain, but you don't really need it. Besides, maybe greet. Now, the equipment window. I like to have this on E for equipment because I'm using it really often and I don't want to hit 2 keys to open that one. The inventory on I. Then the quest window. I'm moving this to Alt. It's not very important. I just need the L key. Then notepad I'm going to use to shift. I don't need the notepad, I just need the N key for something later. I'll explain you why, because let's scroll down. Toggle interface, I use that very often for screenshots, for example. Now I'm gonna hit this onto the N key. If I press N now, everything on the screen will disappear. As I said, you can leave everything on the defaults. This is just the setting I'm used to. You can leave it as you want it to be. So, but it's a really nice feature to make some screenshots. Actually, let's make our first screenshot of our dragon. Screenshots are made with F12 normally on every game. So, we made our first screenshot. You get a notification in the chat, screenshot has been saved. Now, what I use very often are select nearest enemy and cycle nearest enemy. By selecting nearest enemy, you just select the nearest enemy that's close to you. I put that to F10 because I can't keep shift and tab in my mind. And cycle nearest enemy, it will just cycle through the enemies that are close to you. It's a very easy way to search for a certain mob you need, for example for a quest. I'm gonna hit that to F11. So I have the most important buttons for me. Now, one last thing I'm going to change is lock the camera position. It's currently on keypad 5. I like to have it on L for locking. And these are basically my settings, how I'm used to them. You can leave them how you want them to be. I just like it this way. Now the next thing I'm going to explain you is the screen and the setup of it. So you get basically thrown into this game without knowing really much about it. So maybe you want to go through the tutorial the game offers. But each window is actually movable around. You can basically make a mess out of your screen if you wish to. But I'm gonna explain it step by step. So these are some important buttons like your recall button, stop doing the current action, attack something, gather from a resource, trade with someone, create a character, create an item, and sit and stand. So, the recall button, for example, is a very important button. Stop yawning in the background, Spitfire. The recall button is important because if you click on this button, you will recall to the shrine you're currently bound to. You can do this while being alive or while being dead. I will come back to this later. So, this is an important window, and you can actually edit each single window by right-clicking on it and making it just a simple mode, if you're already used to what the buttons are. Or you can change the properties by making the window actually transparent. I love my windows to be transparent, so I'm gonna put this back up here. This is your health, your dragon adventure level, and your dragon craft level. And this down here is the capacity of your inventory. Currently, you can carry 300 items and you have a bulk capacity of 1000. You can also edit this window by right-clicking on it and making it a simple mode, but I wouldn't suggest it because you don't see your levels then. Make it back to the extended mode, but I like it to be transparent just like the other windows, so you just see more of your screen. You can also make it a little bit bigger. And I'm gonna put this up here. I like Spitfire, how he keeps yawning in the background. Spitfire is an NPC, by the way, not a player. Okay, this thing here is your target window. If you click at someone or an item, you can see the name of it, the health of it, a little picture. For example, by Spitfire doesn't have one yet. They're still in development with this. His rating and his schools, the distance you have to the target, his health in numbers, and the direction you have to head to. With direction, I mean not like you have to go straight for it. The direction is looking into your direction. Like, now the arrow is pointing towards it. Okay, I'm gonna make this transparent too. Come back. And a little bit bigger. Why keep I hitting? And I'm gonna put this up here. Just move these two around. And like here. I'm leaving a little bit space here because I like this gem button down here. I like it to be in the upper right corner. So I right click onto it and move to upper right. Why? Simply because these hotkeys, I like them to have them down here. I'll explain that later. Anyway, this is your effects window. This will show the effects that are currently on you, as well as debuffs or buffs. So it will become an important window for you later. I like to have this up here next to your health. Currently we are standing on a road, that means we have a road bonus. So I'm gonna make this transparent too. And then here we have a little compass. I want to show my position and make it a little bit transparent too. Okay. Now, this little bar here is your hotkey bar. Let's make it transparent quickly. So, your hotkey bar is very important. It is a big part of your adventuring and crafting. So, you'll probably need more than one. By right-clicking on it and then new hotkey bar, you can add a second one. I would suggest you to make it number 2, and as you go, new hotkey bar number 3. These would be enough for now. I'm also going to make them transparent. Real quick. And put them back down here. So now you see why I moved the gem button away. Because I like to have my hotkeys down here. Now, this is your chat window. At the moment you only hear the NPC Spitfire talking. Excuse me for a moment, it is time for me to begin my patrol. Would you care to accompany me? No, not really. So, you can make this with the properties, you can also make it transparent. But with the chat windows, I would be a little bit careful because some players change their chat color to really bright or really dark color, so half transparency is good. But I don't like the border. I just want this a little bit bigger. And this one is another chat. Currently, it's only showcasing your combat. For example, if a mob hits you, here it will display how many damage it did to you, or if you hit something and how many damage you did that. It's sometimes really useful. Yeah, so this is basically my screen setup, how I make it in the beginning when I make a new character. So now you know what everything is for and what you can do with it. Okay, I'm going to make a cut here now because I don't want the videos to get too long. In the next part, I will show you adventuring and combat. So stay tuned for the next video. I hope this helped you. Now you know at least how the screen is working and what you can do with it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope that helped. And till next time.